right, guys, this is Crazy Kev here, and I'm here with UFC fighter Nate Maness. Nate, how we doing?
Everything's good, man. How you doing?
Doing good, Nate. Can't complain. And like we just mentioned, man, you just had your fight about 8 days ago, man. How you feeling? And what you think about your performance against Jimmy Flick?
Yeah, man, I feel good. Not really a scratch on my face or anything like that. Everything's pretty much healed up. Can't ask for too much better, a week after the fight. As far as the fight went, a little disappointed I didn't get him out of there. The fight felt a little closer when I was in there as opposed to watching it back. I did feel like I controlled most of the fight. Won all 3 rounds, in my opinion. Uh, Maybe could have threw it a little bit more combos, been a little bit more aggressive, things like that. But I feel like I fought a pretty clean fight and dominated the fight.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And with you fighting a clean fight, I mean, does this mean the UFC is going to re-sign you now with that being your last fight in the contract?
I would think so, man. I think they get like a 90-day negotiation period. So we haven't heard anything yet, but I would expect another contract to be sent my way here soon.
Yeah, and I would say when they say that contract is part of the negotiations going to be that you have to fight on a car with some fans?
It should be. It should be.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely agree, man. And, another thing, too, I was curious about, obviously when we did our first interview, we mentioned a little bit that you're always fighting the Apex. And then, the fight was right in your backyard a week beforehand. And I tried to give you that extra push, put the short on everything. Did the UFC contact you at all about maybe switching it up?
We contacted them. I think Jimmy's manager and my manager both reached out. I think they actually told Jimmy that they were going to switch it. And then an hour later, they kind of pulled back on that. So I think we were pretty close to getting it done. But yeah, man, I'd like to have fought in Louisville. That'd have been pretty cool.
Yeah, no, that would have been awesome, man. Do you happen to know why they pulled out last second?
They just told us that the card was filled up. I don't know why they couldn't just switch our fight and another fight, just a week apart. But that's the only explanation I got.
Yeah, no, fair enough. And, you don't seem like the calling out kind of guy, but do you happen to know or kind of have an idea of who maybe could be next for you?
I'd like to break into the top 15, man. So, all, respectful and everything. Matt Schnell or David Dvorak, something like that. I think both those guys are, like 13 through 15, somewhere on the outer spot there. So yeah, I'd love one of those fights.
Yeah, no, that'll definitely be an awesome fight. I definitely hope you can get one of those. And, you mentioned too, you did a little bit of roofing and stuff. What was maybe some of your favorite memories doing roofing when you did that?
Oh man, favorite. Hard to say, man. I think just the camaraderie between you're the people that you're working with, it's especially when you're out in the heat and, you're kind of grinding together, that sort of thing, kind of similar to training. Those are probably my best memories. As far as the work, man, the work's hard.
Yeah, yeah, no, it definitely seems like it. Do you happen to have like any memorable pieces that you might have done when it comes to like roofing or anything like that?
I still remember the first couple that I was on. I've been doing it like 10 years now, so it was a long time ago. But you definitely remember each job, especially when you drive by. I'm one of those construction guys. I roofed that house. I'm probably annoying with it.
That's awesome. Now, you mentioned you like to eat some burgers, man. What's maybe your go-to burger you like to have?
My favorite burger is probably the Mad Love Burger from Red Robin's. Got to add the sauteed mushrooms on there, but it comes pretty much together. Yeah, man, I love burgers. I don't think you can go wrong with any of them.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What'd you happen to have after the post-fight win, man?
We went to a little Mexican spot there at the hotel and casino. I don't really get out too much. A big adrenaline dump and, just the weight cut that week. I'm pretty much ready. I think we're in bed by like 10 o'clock, man. We don't stay out too late and party, anything like that. Just trying to get some sleep.
I love it. I love it. That's awesome, man. And, obviously you got a couple tattoos on your hand and all that kind of stuff. Talk to us more about some of your favorite tattoos and what they mean.
Yeah, man, I got the Mayhem tattooed across my arm. That's probably one of my favorites. I got King of Kings on one hand and Lord of Lords on the other. I'm a pretty big Christian. I don't know if we're friends on Facebook or anything like that, but I like to express my faith. I think I got a good platform for that and to make it a little bit more than fighting.
Yeah, no, that's definitely some awesome stuff, man. And, when it comes to like fighting stuff and in the UFC, since you haven't been in front of the crowd yet, what is it kind of like to be at the Apex? Talk to us a little bit more about the behind the scenes with it.
Oh, I mean, I don't hate it, man. It's pretty cool. It's a really nice facility. I think the biggest difference is you can kind of hear everything the corner's saying. Man, I heard everything that Jimmy's corner was saying. He would just throw like a jab, wouldn't hit. And man, he don't like that. He doesn't like that. Keep going, Jimmy, stuff like that. That's the first time it's kind of been annoying. But other than that, man, I think just hearing everything, you can hear the shots, the punches, just different things like that. That I think is going to be a little different when you get in front of a big crowd.
Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense, man. And when it comes to your win and stuff, like how quickly do you watch back your fights?
I watched that one back that night. Sometimes I wait a couple of days, but I really wanted to see. I was getting a lot of mixed reviews, especially on Twitter. You know, some guys were calling it boring or I didn't try hard enough, like a sparring match. Even I felt like maybe that first round was really close, but watching it back, man, I don't have a whole lot of negatives. It looked like a really clean fight. Obviously, I could have done more, but how many times have you seen Jimmy hurt and come back and submit a guy? So I was just maybe playing it safe. Maybe that's the word, but I would just call it a smart fight.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I definitely think it was a smart fight. And trying to get a little bit more insight on Jimmy. When you have your opponents and stuff, and they do like interviews and stuff like we're doing, do you have to try and watch them on your opponent as well too?
Yeah, I'll kind of skim through them. I usually won't watch every minute of it. But yeah, I will just kind of see where his head's at, how he's feeling, see how much the cheeks are sunk in, things like, little things like that that fighters are looking for. Maybe any cuts over the eyebrows, little things. But yeah, I don't sit down and watch everything. I'm more worried about what I'm going to do. But just to kind of get a feel for who he is and what he's about, I will watch some.
That's awesome. No, it's definitely cool to know. And another thing too, back in 2020, man, you happened to mention that you got like married and stuff, man. Talk to us a little bit more about that, man, and that experience.
Yeah, man, we got married 2020, January 11th. We haven't had like a really big wedding yet. We just had like a little small get together with the family. That's something we still plan on doing here, hopefully shortly, and kind of get that full wedding experience. We got a little girl now. She's a year and a half, just like her mama, drives me nuts. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
man, got a nice little family here, and we got a house that we bought 2 years ago. So everything's really coming together.
That's awesome. That was actually the other thing I was going to ask you. I mean, like I said, with you doing it during COVID, I mean, what was it like trying to schedule it and go through all that?
Yeah, it was different. My gym's pretty much stayed open. Low key, we all stayed open. I was training all the way through COVID. The big thing, the mask and things like that. The UFC were just testing us like twice a day. Little things like that were kind of annoying, but most of the things stayed the same for me.
Nice, nice. That's definitely awesome. And Nate, man, when it just comes to like outside the cage, man, what kind of music do you like to listen to?
What kind of music, man? I listen to a little bit of rap, a little bit of country, kind of everything, some alternative stuff, especially like older stuff. I'm a big fan of the 80s too, so I kind of showing my age a little bit there. But yeah, man, I pretty much like all kinds of music.
Nice, nice. That's definitely cool. And do you happen to go to any sort of concerts at all?
I've probably only been to a handful of concerts my whole life. Yeah, not too many.
Okay, okay. What was maybe your favorite one that you did?
Favorite one? Who did we go and watch? Uh, Brett Young. Yeah, I think we went to watch Brett Young here pretty shortly. It had been too long ago here in Evansville at the Ford Center, and we had a pretty good time.
That's awesome. No, it's definitely some good stuff, man. And with you fighting in the UFC, obviously you mentioned the title is your goal, but what's maybe some other goals that you have in MMA at the moment?
Yeah, man, I think the biggest thing for me right now is breaking into the top 15. That's something I want to say that I was able to do. If I never get to the title, and, there's only so many people that can be champion. I don't want to put too much pressure on myself, but to get into the top 15, say I was ranked, one of the best in the world in my weight class, that would be really important to me. So that's the number one goal right now is getting ranked, and then we'll start talking about top 10, top 5, and then eventual title shot.
Nice. No, that's definitely some good stuff. And you fought Umar and stuff, and obviously Umar is a beast. Do you think he could potentially be a champion one day?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's pretty much well-rounded everywhere. He's not like the normal Dagestani guy that has to get the takedown. He's got really clean striking too, good kicks. He can keep the distance. I think he knocked out Barcelos right after me. I think he does have a tough fight coming up, man. Maybe the worst matchup for him, in my opinion. Of course, Sandhagen, he's really tough. Elbows, knees, flying attacks, spinning attacks. He's going to have really good cardio for a 5-round fight. I'm interested to see if Umar can keep up the wrestling pace for 5 rounds. I think that's going to be a really dangerous fight for him.
Yeah, no, I definitely think it's going to be a dangerous fight, but I definitely think he's a beast. And another thing too, you obviously fought Umar and then Tagira like kind of back to back. After kind of fighting those guys back to back, what was kind of your mental state like after competing against both of those guys?
Stop fighting Dagestanis was the main thing.
Yeah,
They're just really solid, man. I like to fight the best, and I feel like I could have done a lot better against Tagir. It sucks to put in a 12-week camp and all the weight cutting and things like that, just to get caught in a guillotine in the first 2 minutes. Man, that's rough. If there's one I could get back, that would definitely be it. As far as Umar goes, man, I'd have been a little bit more aggressive and things like that. But he's so good; it's hard to put too much pressure on yourself. But I would definitely do it again. I'd love to jump in there with the best guys.
nice, nice. And you mentioned in another interview that your weight cut was going pretty good against Jimmy Flick. What do you think was maybe different compared to the previous ones?
I was actually eating a little bit more. I don't know if I was kind of putting myself in that starvation mode where your body's trying to hold on to everything that it can. But I kind of just up my calories 200 or 300 a day, and that made all the difference in keeping me full, keeping me strong, and also I guess tricking my body into letting go some of that fat and things like that. So I think that made a big difference.
Yeah, no, that's definitely awesome. And with you mentioning stuff that you have a daughter and everything, do you happen to maybe try and get your daughter into martial arts one day?
Yeah, she's 1.5 right now. I think at 3 or 4 we'll probably have her in jujitsu.
Nice.
Just some basic stuff. She doesn't have to fight or do boxing, get punched in the head, anything like that. That'll be all her decision. I'm not going to push that too much, but I think jujitsu would be fun for a daddy daughter thing to go to, and kind of have that bonding experience.
Yeah, no, that's definitely awesome. And when it comes to like jujitsu and stuff, do you think that's one of the best bases to kind of have just to kind of be able to defend yourself against like a average person?
Yeah, I think so, especially for women. If you're a man, I think the best base is probably wrestling. You kind of get to decide where the fight takes place. They just have a different level of balance and strength and things like that. But jujitsu is definitely a good second place, especially if you can incorporate some takedowns into it. But especially for women, I think it'd be definitely good to get in and learn some jujitsu, roll with some men, kind of get a feel for that, and then learn how to defend yourself. Definitely.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's definitely awesome. And speaking about training, man, what's maybe some of your favorite training memories that you have?
Let's see. Man, I used to train up there in North Carolina. Kind of miss a lot of those guys sometimes. So those were pretty good times. Back in the day, I don't know if it'd be fun, but roofing 10, 12 hours, coming back, still putting in that work. That's a lot of things that I'm proud of, and to be doing it as long as I have been. It's definitely tough. It's definitely hard some days, but I'm proud of everything that we've gotten accomplished.
Yeah, no, that's definitely some awesome stuff. And when you're training and stuff in the gym, I mean, how do you kind of go about getting a fight? I mean, are you just training and then randomly your phone kind of gets a text that you might have a fight book? Talk to us more about that behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah. Usually I'll kind of give my manager, kind of like a date. I'd like to fight between here and there, and then I can start, kind of prepping towards it. We don't get too intense before, it's hard to stay in real fight shape. It's really hard on your body. So, I'll gain a little bit of weight back. I'll stay in the gym, but, more technical stuff. And then we'll really start ramping up the intensity and the cardio and things like that. It's just hard to go full blast all the time, man. It's really hard on your body. So we definitely figured that out. The older we've gotten, the more experience, just learning how to train.
Yeah. And speaking about learning how to train, I mean, what do you typically do to go about your recovery process?
Ice bats, hot Epsom salt bats. I've got a massage gun that I don't know if other guys use it, man, but I absolutely love it. Before training sessions, right after, 2 to 4 times a day, I've got the massage gun going, and I feel like that really breaks up all that lactic acid. Kind of gets your muscles feeling good, especially at 125. I'm putting on a really heavy workload just to get to the weight and feel good. So things like that really help.
Yeah, no, I definitely think that's important. And when it comes to training and stuff, do you happen to watch film on any fighters? And if so, what's maybe some of your favorite fighters you like to watch?
Yeah, I'll usually watch my opponent once, um, just every fight one time. I don't like to focus too much on what they're going to be doing. I'll kind of let my coaches do a lot of that, just to give me like heads up. Hey, watch your neck in these positions. Look for this in this position, and really just focus on what I'm trying to do. As far as like guys I like to watch to kind of mold my game after, I really like TJ Dillashaw, his footwork, his striking's really nice. GSP is my favorite fighter, so I took a lot of his wrestling, running the pipe, things like that he used to do a lot. But yeah, man, I'm a fan of quite a few fighters. I don't know if I have too many specifics, but you can pick up anything from anybody, man.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you, Nate. And Nate, you mentioned a couple guys you might want to fight in the future. Do you happen to have maybe like a time frame of when you maybe want to be back in there?
Yeah, that was actually my last fight on my contract, so I'm waiting to have that up. If we can get that done, relatively quick and agree to all the terms, I'd like to get back in there like late October, early November, something like that. Get one more in this year, and I think that'd be plenty of time to kind of reset my body from the weight cut and get back to it.
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely. And like you've been mentioning, you're obviously pretty underrated in the UFC, 5-2 now. Haven't been in front of the crowd. I really hope this next one's gonna be in front of the crowd, Nate. And with that being said, man, I mean, what's maybe your final message out there for the fans watching this video?
Yeah, mostly about support, man. Especially, I'm from a smaller town. I train right here at home, local. I get to see, all the fans and friends and things like that. Just around town. I just really appreciate all the support that they give me. They really share all my stuff, like things like that. Really build me up, give me the confidence, to go in there and do what we need to do. I think that would be the biggest thing, man. Is just how big support is in this sport.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you, Nate. And speaking of support, man, like I mentioned in the beginning of the interview, when you had that Jimmy Flick fight and you guys were trying to get that crowd, and I posted the short and everything. I appreciate you actually, putting up on your Instagram and trying to get that extra push too. So I definitely thank you, and I think support's a big thing, and hopefully more people in the MMA community can come together and support each other. So thank you again.
Yeah, it's no problem, man. Just anything, just tag me in it and I'll share it, man. I love getting, your stuff out there. It's good for everybody. It's good for the fighters. It's good for the fans. For sure, man. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, man, no problem at all. And Nate, man, like I said, hopefully you get re-signed soon, and we're looking forward to your next fight. And again, man, thank you so much for coming back on the show. It means a lot to me, seriously.
Yeah, no problem, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah, man. All right, have a good day. Thank you again.
You too.
Bye, man.